Did you know that the United States is a corporation? Well, it's true, and it has been since 1871. You see, right after the Civil War, when the nation was devastated, Congress, with no constitutional authority to do so, passed an act known as the Act of 1871, which created a separate form of government for the District of Columbia with its own constitution. And our original constitution went in the trash can, and we ceased to be a republic with the stroke of a pen, literally. You see, what they did is actually very clever. They just changed one word in the title of the Constitution. Just one word, and then capitalized the sentence. The original document read, "The Constitution for the United States of America." But the altered version reads, "The Constitution of the United States of America." Seems insignificant, doesn't it? Well, apparently it isn't in a legal document. Those little differences in the two constitutions are very significant, and that legal trick made it possible to erase our sovereignty. You see, what Congress did with the passage of the Act of 1871 was create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia. The kind of government that they created was a corporation. The new altered constitution serves as the constitution of that corporation and not of America. See, by changing that one word, this corporate constitution does not benefit the republic anymore. It serves only to benefit the corporation. It does nothing good for you or me, and it operates outside of the original constitution. So instead of absolute rights guaranteed under the organic constitution, we now have relative rights or privileges. One example of this is the sovereign's right to travel, which has been transformed under corporate government policy into a privilege, which we must be licensed in order to engage in. Now, this operates outside of the original Constitution, but there's many examples, hundreds and hundreds of examples of rights that have been stripped down and now renamed privileges. So what Congress did was committed treason against the people. The people were considered sovereign under the Declaration of Independence in the Organic Constitution. And according to Webster's dictionary, sovereign is defined as chief or highest, supreme. Supreme in power, superior in position to all others. Now, our government was created by and for sovereigns. And that's the significance of changing for to of. It transfers the power from the people to the new corporation of the United States. And they stole our republic with a legal trick and created a corporation that gives them the ability to sell our country off to international bankers all the way back in 1871. And they've been playing us for fools ever since. The President of the United States of America is nothing more than a glorified CEO, and democracy in this country is a complete and total sham. It's nothing more than elaborate theater for the masses to give us the illusion of being involved. None of it really matters, and it hasn't mattered for quite a long time. The concept of America that you and I have been sold our entire lives is a lie. In reality, we were never this shining example of freedom and democracy. We are a corporation and the muscle of the global elite agenda. This entire world, all of it in fact, is an intricate web of lies, and nothing is as it seems. In reality, evil forces control this earth and hoard all of its wealth and resources, and they have for hundreds of years. And this is a fact. The New World Order, or whatever you want to call them, is real. And if you want to know who they are, all you have to do is follow the money. It's not a conspiracy. It's a fact. This whole world, all of it, is a lie, and there is true evil behind it pulling the strings, and they have bought everything up. All the control, all the nations of the earth, they own it all. These governments and politics is all theatrics, a show put on for the people so that they don't look behind the curtain. America is a sham. Our democracy is a sham. Our Constitution has been usurped. we need to wake people up. We need to get people aware of this stuff. Now, this has been just a little trip down hidden history lane. But we know there are hundreds of thousands of examples of things like this. This world is an intricate web of lies. It is a matrix. We do live in a matrix. We live in an alternate reality. Think about it. Ever since you're little, what are you taught about America? You're sold this bullshit story, and the people selling it to you, they're not evil. They don't have evil intent. They don't even know that they're lying to you. They bought the damn lie themselves. And that's how it's done. Throughout history, people have tried to tell us what's going on, what's really happening behind the curtain, and what always happens to those people. I was going to share a quote in this video, but I can't do it any justice, so I'm going to go ahead and play it for you now.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. But I do ask every publisher, every editor, and every newsman in the nation to re-examine his own standards and to recognize the nature of our country's peril. In time of war, the government and the press have customarily joined in an effort based largely on self-discipline to prevent unauthorized disclosures to the enemy. In times of clear and present danger, the courts have held that even the privileged rights of the First Amendment must yield to the public's need for national security. Today, no war has been declared, and however fierce the struggle may be, it may never be declared in the traditional fashion. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends is in danger, and yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired. If the press is awaiting a declaration of war before it imposes the self-discipline of combat conditions, then I can only say that no war ever posed a greater threat to our security. If you are awaiting a finding of clear and present danger, then I can only say that the danger has never been more clear, and its presence has never been more imminent. It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in missions by the government, by the people, by every businessman or labor leader, and by every newspaper. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.